Good evening all and welcome to another video on All Hail the Ale. It's Saturday night, which means it's craft beer night. The beer we're going for tonight is from Northern Monk. It's a necessary one tonight. It's this one. It is a chocolate fudge brownie stout and it weighs an 8.4% ABV. And the reason I say it's necessary is because it's brass monkeys outside. It's cold and it's stout weather. We've got dustings of snow, we've got lots of ice, and it's below zero. So, without further ado, we're going to bring on the warm stuff. Now, this one describes itself as chocolate fudge decadent, and it does say on the other side of the can to treat yourself to a can of gooey, sticky, rich and decadent chocolate fudge brownie stout. So we're expecting a good body to it. We're expecting a caramel note. We're expecting some chocolate in, well, large quantities really. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. Very much so. The 8.4%. I'm hoping it's got a little bit of a boozy kick to it. We shall see. We're going to pour tonight into not my normal glass for stouts. We're pouring into my Northern Monk glass. So the pour is dark. Get a bit of a head on it. We're not going to go nuts with the pour. Looks good though. Nice little bit of a surge. So that is dark mahogany. We've got a little bit of like a ruby red at the fringes. Actually, beer up close. You've got a nice dark beer, a nice tight tan head. That is super tight. A bit of a roll. Looks like it's got a reasonable body to it. Yeah, it's pretty sturdy on the roll. Let's have a whiff. They're not wrong about the chocolate. There's plenty of it. There is, on the nose anyway. It's deep. It's rich. There is a burnt caramel in there. Nice hint of milk chocolate. Plenty of roasted malt as well. It's rich and decadent, just like it promises. So, we're off to a good start. It looks good. Smells good. Let's have a taste. Cheers. The body's decent. It's not heavy. It's medium. Just slightly north of medium. And it has got a boozy hit. There's almost like a brandy-like vibe going on in the background. You've got an initial flavour of chocolate and caramel. I'm looking for a cakey vibe. It is quite alcoholic. I appreciate that. It's nice to have a stronger beer that actually tastes the booze. A lot of the stronger ones I've had lately tend to be really easy drinking, smooth. None of that evidence that you've got a stronger beer. This one, it's there. It's quite dominant, really. After the first sip, the chocolate is darker. The first sip, it's sweet. You get the caramel coming through. Yeah, subsequent sips are darker, richer, dare I say it to use the word on the can, decadent. It's got a subtle coffee note in the background when those malts kick in. Like it. And it's quite bitter, really, for what is meant to be a dessert stout. A lot more bitter than I was expecting. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing at this point. Figure that out later. The finish is the most disappointing part of the beer. It's getting more of that alcohol and less of the flavours, less of the chocolate, less of the caramel, less of the roasted malts, and I'm just getting an alcoholic hit. the more I drink it, the less it tastes like a chocolate fudge brownie. Interesting. Very interesting. So, we're going to go to the scoreboard of joy, which says there have been approximately 1,800 check-ins to the beer, 4 from people I know, an old-fashioned computer score of average 386, 413 from the people I know who've tried it. I do miss the old days of x86 architecture and slow speeds and 8 megabytes of RAM being huge amounts. Anyway, my scoreboard of joy is currently lacking the name CFBS. That'll do. It's currently void of everything, but we're going to judge it on the looks, the aroma, the body, the taste, and the finish. And does it get any bonus points? So, visuals first, please. We shall top off the pour with a little more. It's not a bad looking beer. Let's pour it up to the half pint line. It's got a lovely dark colour to it with a nice tan head. A little bit of ruby at the bottom of the glass where it meets the stem. It's not a bad looking beer. We're not going to knock that. It's going to have a full point for the visuals. The aroma delivers. It's sweet, it's chocolatey, it's caramelly, it's cakey almost. And it kind of hints at the name. Yeah, it's very much on the caramel is dominant. I like the aroma. It suggests sweet. Good strength on the nose. I'm going to give it a point. The body is slightly north of medium. Carbonation is reasonably good. It's a little bit more than I would like in a beer of this style. I would like it just a little bit softer. It's not a major criticism at all, but actually, no, it's fine. The carbonation is fine. On the whole, I just like it a bit heavier, particularly given it's 8.4 and it's a chocolate fudge brownie and it says it's thick, sticky and gooey. It doesn't quite deliver on the sticky gooey real heavy. So I'm going to give it the 0.75. The taste is a bit of an enigma. The first sip was, much like the nose, caramel and chocolate. The second sip, it got darker, richer, perhaps more decadent. Subsequent sips after that, all the sweetness went away and all I could taste was the alcohol. The malts kind of started there, a little bit of coffee, but the more you drink it, the more alcoholic and the less decadent it tastes. It's a real weird one. There's bits of it I like, but they only come on the first sip. I'm going to give it a half because, like I say, I like the dark and bitter. I like the sweetness at the beginning. I just wish it was consistent. And I know that everyone's going to experience it differently. My taste buds will experience it different to yours, but that's what happens for me, so that's what I'm going to give it. And the finish, like I say, it's the most disappointing aspect of the beer. It is weird. It's odd. I can't really put my finger on it. It's got that darkness. It's got nothing of the sweet dessert pastry that I was hoping for. And it's got all the kind of boozy bitterness on the back end. Which, if you were going for a dark, simple stout, you probably wouldn't knock it at all. But when you've got a beer of this type, where you expect those sweet dessert-like flavours, you'll get nothing. It's disappointing. So I'm going to give it the 0.25, which means it's got 1, 2, 3.5 out of 5 from me. Which means it can't have a full bonus. Because it didn't get 5 out of 5. Would I buy this one again? I'm going to be honest and say no, I wouldn't. Because it just doesn't deliver as a chocolate fudge brownie stout. The first sip does, don't get me wrong, and maybe I wish I had a bigger first sip, but the whole experience is not one that I would repeat. And value for money, about £4 in Tesco's. It's not It's not what I call value for money either, unfortunately. It doesn't deliver enough for me. So there we go. Yeah, 1, 2, 3.5 out of 5 from me. So, oh well, can't win them all. There's definitely, it's definitely fun trying these beers and trying different things. And sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Today is one of the days where we lose. It's not one for me. You might like it more than I do, and I hope you do, because, yeah, Northern Monk deserve the love. They make some excellent beers, but for me, this is not one of them. And we're going to leave it there and say that has been a beer. I've been me. Those down there are the buttons. You know exactly what to do with them by now. You've got your like, comment, dislike, and subscribe. Choose any combination of them as you wish. And I will see you again soon for another one. Bye for now.